that you're taking notes, and that also you are investigating in your committee. I just learned this today, the same thing I've been investigating on my radio program, which is the outing of Valerie Plame. Just in case you didn't know this, I'm going to give you a tool. The Brewster Jennings network of the CIA, headed by Valerie Plame, was outed for a reason. Cheney, Bush, and the neocons needed to explode the Brewster Jennings network. That is treason, that is high treason, that is an offense that you could use to get rid of them, not just by impeachment, but by arrest and trial. I've probably heard of her, one of Leahy's nemesis, because he covered up her information too, and a Christopher DeLiso. I would be very happy to share that with you at some point. Also, I heard you promise to Ron Morissette on Mark Johnson's show that you would look into the events surrounding 9/11, and I hope that he will continue to do that.
I think that Cheney is complicit in the 9/11 bombings.
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
And I also think the issue is bigger. There's a military-industrial complex that is having their hand in our tax dollars' pocket and using it in a way that isn't good for the country. We can't feel that you're more intelligent than we are anymore. There's a lot of organization going on, people who need to take care of themselves now because Washington won't. Tax dollars going towards the wrong ends is something that needs to be addressed by the people. And I've seen people up in Montpelier, more people than ever, telling their representatives what they want, and the representatives not connecting.
Congressman Welch, thank you. You asked, what is impeachment? It is really nothing more than a performance review of a group of, in this case, insane killers who are destroying the Constitution. The review by our supposed representatives of a very angry nation. That's all impeachment is. You can do it. Okay? And your excuse that this will somehow keep the war going, no one in the state, let alone in this room, believes that or buys it. Because when impeachment hearings begin, any escalation of the war by these monsters will be seen for exactly what it is, a diversion to stop impeachment. So it won't work. In fact, it would hasten impeachment if they tried anything during the impeachment proceedings. Because then the impetus from the country will be that much more on getting rid of them.
A few minutes ago, I heard you say that history will impeach Bush. I agree with you. History has impeached Hitler. But he did a hell of a lot of damage in between. And unfortunately, the German people didn't have the tools that we have and that our Congress has. They couldn't get rid of Hitler. We can get rid of Bush. And I'm not making the comparison. Bush is not nearly as smart or as charismatic as Hitler. Bush is not a Hitler, but if one ever does come to this country, a Congress that allows Bush to get away with what he has gotten away with will be paving the way for such a Hitler. It is not only the next 18 months we're concerned with, it's the rest of the United States history, which is very much in jeopardy today. Now, I've heard you say that you want to get to 258 or whatever the number is, that's what's going to end the war, but I haven't heard any plan. And there's absolutely no doubt in my mind, and probably not in anybody else's mind, that if George W. Bush is in office on January 8th, or whatever the transition is, if he's still in office, troops will still be in Iraq. The only way this war is going to end is going to be to get rid of Bush, or make him think that it's inevitable that he is going to be gotten rid of unless he changes his policy. That's why we're for impeachment.
The war will end, but our occupation of Iraq will not. When we invaded, our troops were sent first to secure the pumping stations, then the pipelines for removing the oil. Permanent bases were built at the pumps and on the pipelines to protect them and the legacy of this administration. Thousands of people have been blown apart to protect this legacy. Thousands more have been tortured in U.S. facilities by U.S. interrogators to ensure this legacy. Torture is a high crime under the United States Code. Title 18, Section 2340. Never mind the Geneva Convention and the UN Conference. This is a federal crime. An actor gets the death penalty. A conspirator, 20 years to life. Torture has been ordered by the President, implemented by the Secretary of Defense. They are conspirators, along with the Cabinet, of which the Vice President is a significant member. The President and the Vice President must be removed from office by impeachment. They must be punished by impeachment. Like-minded politicians must know what the consequences are of this arrogant, inhuman behavior. We will not have them in our public offices. The Democratic Party stands for humanity. We elected you to represent humanity. You cannot ignore the continuing inhumanity of President Bush and Vice President Cheney. You must make the effort to remove them from public office.